a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Tom Cruise. Thomas Cruise Mapother IV is an American actor and producer. He started his career at age 19 in the film Endless Love, before making his breakthrough in the comedy Risky Business, and receiving widespread attention for starring in the action drama Top Gun as Lieutenant Pete Maverick Mitchell. After starring in The Color of Money and Cocktail, Cruise starred opposite Dustin Hoffman in the Academy Award for Best Picture-winning drama Rain Man. For his role as anti-war activist Ron Kovic in the drama Born on the 4th of July, Cruise received the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor Motion Picture Drama and his first Academy Award for Best Actor nomination. In the 1990s, Cruise starred with Jack Nicholson in the legal drama A Few Good Men, and starred in a number of box office hits including The Firm and Interview with the Vampire, before starring as IMF agent Ethan Hunt in the action spy thriller Mission Impossible, the first of a commercially successful 6-film series. In 1996, Cruise also starred as the title character in the romantic comedy drama Jerry Maguire, earning him the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor Motion Picture Musical or Comedy and his second Academy Award nomination. In 1999, Cruise starred in the erotic thriller Eyes Wide Shut opposite his then-wife Nicole Kidman and also appeared in the ensemble drama Magnolia, for which he received the Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor Motion Picture and was also nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. After receiving a Saturn Award for Best Actor for his performance in the psychological thriller Vanilla Sky, Cruise collaborated with director Steven Spielberg on the science fiction thrillers Minority Report and War of the Worlds. In 2008, he gave a supporting performance in the action comedy Tropic Thunder and starred in the historical thriller Valkyrie as Klaus von Stauffenberg. In 2012, Cruise played the eponymous role in the thriller Jack Reacher. Cruise's films have grossed more than $3.7 billion at US and Canadian box offices and more than $9.0 billion worldwide, making him the 8th highest-grossing actor in North America and one of the top-grossing actors worldwide. Cruise has been married 3 times, to actresses Mimi Rogers, Nicole Kidman, Katie Holmes, and has 3 children, 2 of which were adopted during his marriage to Kidman, and has one biological daughter with Holmes, from whom he was divorced in 2012. Cruise is an outspoken advocate for the Church of Scientology and its associated social programs, and credits it with helping him overcome dyslexia. In the 2000s, his church-affiliated criticisms of psychiatry and antidepressant drugs, particularly for 9/11 rescue workers, and his efforts to promote Scientology as a religion in Europe sparked controversies, as did a leaked video interview of him promoting Scientology. Early life. Cruise was born in Syracuse, New York, the son of Mary Lee, a special education teacher, and Thomas Cruise Mapother III, an electrical engineer, both originally from Louisville, Kentucky. He has 3 sisters, Leanne, Marion, and Cass. They are of English, German, and Irish ancestry. One of Cruise's paternal great-great-great-grandfathers, Patrick Russell Cruise, was born in North County, Dublin in 1799. He married Teresa Johnson in County Meath, in 1825. They left Ireland for the United States that same year and settled in New York. They had a daughter, Mary Paulina Russell Cruise, whose son Thomas Cruise Mapother was Cruise's great-grandfather. A cousin, William Mapother, is also an actor. He and Cruise have appeared in 5 films together. Cruise grew up in near poverty, and had a Catholic upbringing. The family was dominated by his abusive father, whom Cruise has described as a merchant of chaos. Cruise has said that he was beaten by his father, whom he has called a bully and coward. He stated, "He was the kind of person where, if something goes wrong, they kick you. It was a great lesson in my life, how he'd lull you in, make you feel safe and then, bang. For me, it was like, there's something wrong with this guy. Don't trust him. Be careful around him." Cruise spent part of his childhood in Canada. His family moved to Beacon Hill, Ottawa, in late 1971 so that Cruise's father could take a position as a defense consultant with the Canadian Armed Forces. There, Cruise attended the newly opened Robert Hopkins Public School for much of Grade 4 and Grade 5. In Grade 4, Cruise first became involved in drama, under the tutelage of George Steinberg. Cruise and 6 other boys put on an improvised play to music called IT at the Carlton Elementary School Drama Festival. Drama organizer Val Wright, who was in the audience that night, reflected, "The movement and improvisation were excellent. It was a classic ensemble piece." Cruise also enjoyed sports at the school and played floor hockey, though he was known more for his aggression than his talent. In 6th grade, Cruise went to Henry Munro Middle School in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. However, in the spring of that year, Cruise's mother left his father, taking Cruise and his sisters back to the United States. His father died of cancer in 1984. Cruise briefly attended a Franciscan seminary in Cincinnati, Ohio, on a church scholarship, and aspired to become a Catholic priest, before his interest in acting. In his senior year, he played football for the varsity team as a linebacker, but he was cut from the squad after getting caught drinking beer before a game. In total, Cruise attended 15 schools in 14 years, including stints in at least 2 suburban New Jersey towns, including Glen Ridge. Acting. Cruise first appeared in a bit part in the 1981 film Endless Love, followed by a major supporting role as a crazed military academy student in Taps later that year. In 1983, Cruise was part of the ensemble cast of The Outsiders. That same year he appeared in All the Right Moves and Risky Business, which has been described as a Generation X classic and a career maker for Tom Cruise, and which, along with 1986's Top Gun, cemented his status as a superstar. Cruise also played the male lead in the Ridley Scott film Legend, released in 1985. Cruise followed up Top Gun with The Color of Money, which came out the same year, and which paired him with Paul Newman. 1988 saw him star in Cocktail, which earned him a nomination for the Razzie Award for Worst Actor. Later that year he starred with Dustin Hoffman in Rain Man, which won the Academy Award for Best Film and Cruise the Kansas City Film Critics Circle Award for Best Supporting Actor. Cruise portrayed real-life paralyzed Vietnam War veteran Ron Kovic in 1989's Born on the 4th of July, which earned him a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor Motion Picture Drama, the Chicago Film Critics Association Award for Best Actor, the People's Choice Award for Favorite Motion Picture Actor, a nomination for BAFTA Award for Best Actor in a Leading Role, and Cruise's first Best Actor Academy Award nomination. Cruise's next films were Days of Thunder and Far and Away, both of which co-starred then-wife Nicole Kidman as his love interest. In 1994, Cruise starred along with Brad Pitt, Antonio Banderas and Christian Slater in Neil Jordan's Interview with the Vampire, a gothic drama/horror film that was based on Anne Rice's best-selling novel. The film was well received, although Rice was initially quite outspoken in her criticism of Cruise having been cast in the film, as Julian Sands was her first choice. Upon seeing the film, however, she paid $7,740 for a 2-page ad in Daily Variety praising his performance and apologizing for her previous doubts about him. In 1996, Cruise appeared as super spy Ethan Hunt in the reboot of Mission: Impossible, which he produced. It was a box office success, although it received criticism regarding the Jim Phelps character being a villain despite being a protagonist of the original television series. In 1996, he took on the title role in Jerry Maguire, for which he earned a Golden Globe and his second nomination for an Academy Award. In 1999, Cruise co-starred with Kidman in the erotic Stanley Kubrick film Eyes Wide Shut, and took a rare supporting role, as a motivational speaker, Frank T.J. Mackey, in Magnolia, for which he received another Golden Globe and nomination for an Academy Award. In 2000, Cruise returned as Ethan Hunt in the second installment of the Mission Impossible films, Mission: Impossible 2. The film was helmed by Hong Kong director John Woo and branded with his gun fu style, and continued the series' blockbuster success at the box office, taking in almost $547 million in worldwide figures. Like its predecessor, it was the highest-grossing film of the year, and had a mixed critical reception. Cruise received an MTV Movie Award for Best Male Performance for this film. His next 5 films were major critical and commercial successes. The following year Cruise starred in the romantic thriller Vanilla Sky with Cameron Diaz and Penelope Cruz. In 2002, Cruise starred in the dystopian science fiction thriller Minority Report, which was directed by Steven Spielberg and based on the science fiction short story by Philip K. Dick. In 2003, he starred in Edward Zwick's historical drama The Last Samurai, for which he received a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actor. In 2005, Cruise worked again with Steven Spielberg in War of the Worlds, a loose adaptation of the H.G. Wells novel of the same name, which became the fourth highest-grossing film of the year with $591.4 million worldwide. Also in 2005, he won the People's Choice Award for Favorite Male Movie Star, and the MTV Generation Award. Cruise was nominated for 7 Saturn Awards between 2002 and 2009, winning once. 9 of the 10 films he starred in during the decade made over $100 million at the box office. In 2006, he returned to his role as Ethan Hunt in the third installment of the Mission Impossible film series, Mission Impossible 3. The film was more positively received by critics than the previous films in the series, and grossed nearly $400 million at the box office. In 2007, Cruise took a rare supporting role for the second time in Lions for Lambs, which was a commercial disappointment. This was followed by an unrecognizable appearance as Le Grossman in the 2008 comedy Tropic Thunder with Ben Stiller, Jack Black, and Robert Downey Jr. This performance earned Cruise a Golden Globe nomination. Cruise played the central role in the historical thriller Valkyrie, released on December 25, 2008 to box office success. In March 2010, Cruise completed filming the action comedy Night and Day, in which he re-teamed with former co-star Cameron Diaz. The film was released on June 23, 2010. On February 9, 2010, Cruise confirmed that he would star in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, the fourth installment in the Mission Impossible series. The film was released in December 2011 to high critical acclaim and box office success. Unadjusted for ticket price inflation, it is Cruise's biggest commercial success to date. On May 6, 2011, Cruise was awarded a humanitarian award from the Simon Wiesenthal Center and Museum of Tolerance for his work as a dedicated philanthropist. In mid-2011, Cruise started shooting the movie Rock of Ages, in which he played the character Stacey Jacks. The film was released in June 2012. Cruise starred as Jack Reacher in the film adaptation of British author Lee Child's 2005 novel One Shot. The film was released on December 21, 2012. It met with positive reviews from critics and was a box office success, grossing $216,568,266 worldwide. In 2013, he starred in the science fiction film Oblivion, based on director Joseph Kosinski's graphic novel of the same name. The film met with mixed reviews and grossed $285,600,588 worldwide. It also starred Morgan Freeman and Olga Kurylenko. As of mid-2015, Cruise's films have grossed about $8.2 billion worldwide. Cruise returned as Ethan Hunt in the fifth installment of the Mission Impossible series, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, which he also produced. Returning cast members included Simon Pegg as Benji and Jeremy Renner as William Brandt, with Christopher McQuarrie as director. Cruise starred in the 2017 reboot of Boris Karloff's 1932 horror movie The Mummy. The new film, also titled The Mummy, was produced by Alex Kurtzman, Chris Morgan, and Sean Daniel. Written by John Spates and directed by Kurtzman. In 2018, Cruise again reprised Ethan Hunt in the sixth film in his franchise, Mission Impossible Fallout. Producing, Cruise partnered with his former talent agent Paula Wagner to form Cruise/Wagner Productions in 1993, and the company has since co-produced several of Cruise's films. The first being Mission Impossible in 1996, which was also Cruise's first project as a producer. Cruise is noted as having negotiated some of the most lucrative film deals in Hollywood, and was described in 2005 by Hollywood economist Edward J. Epstein as one of the most powerful and richest forces in Hollywood. Epstein argues that Cruise is one of the few producers who are regarded as able to guarantee the success of a billion-dollar film franchise. Epstein also contends that the public obsession with Cruise's tabloid controversies obscures full appreciation of Cruise's exceptional commercial prowess. Cruise/Wagner Productions, Cruise's film production company, is said to be developing a screenplay based on Erik Larson's New York Times bestseller, The Devil in the White City, about a real-life serial killer, H. Holmes, at Chicago's World's Columbian Exposition. Catherine Bigelow is attached to the project to produce and helm. Meanwhile, Leonardo DiCaprio's production company, Appian Way, is also developing a film about Holmes and the World's Fair, in which DiCaprio will star. Cruise has produced for multiple films in which he has been. He produced Mission Impossible, Without Limits, Mission Impossible 2, The Others, Vanilla Sky and many others. Break with Paramount. On August 22, 2006, Paramount Pictures announced it was ending its 14-year relationship with Cruise. In the Wall Street Journal, chairman of Viacom Sumner Redstone cited the economic damage to Cruise's value as an actor and producer from his controversial public behavior and views. Cruise/Wagner Productions responded that Paramount's announcement was a face-saving move after the production company had successfully sought alternative financing from private equity firms. Industry analysts such as Edward J. Epstein commented that the real reason for the split was most likely Paramount's discontent over Cruise/Wagner's exceptionally large share of DVD sales from the Mission Impossible franchise. Management of United Artists. In November 2006, Cruise and Paula Wagner announced that they had taken over the film studio United Artists. Cruise acts as a producer and star in films for United Artists, while Wagner serves as U.S. chief executive. Production began in 2007 of Valkyrie, a thriller based on the July 20, 1944 assassination attempt against Adolf Hitler. The film was acquired in March 2007 by United Artists. On March 21, 2007, Cruise signed on to play Klaus von Stauffenberg, the protagonist. This project marked the second production to be greenlighted since Cruise and Wagner took control of United Artists. The first was its inaugural film, Lions for Lambs, directed by Robert Redford and starring Redford, Meryl Streep, and Cruise. Lambs was released on November 9, 2007, opening to an impressive box office revenue and critical reception. In August 2008, Wagner stepped down from her position at United Artists. She retains her stake in UA, which combined with Cruise's share amounts to 30% of the studio. Relationships. Cruise has been divorced 3 times and has 3 children. In the early to mid-1980s, Cruise had relationships with older women, including Rebecca de Mornay, 3 years his senior, Patti Sculfer, 9 years his senior, and Cher, 16 years his senior. Marriage to Nicole Kidman. Cruise met his second wife, actress Nicole Kidman, on the set of their film Days of Thunder. The couple married on December 24, 1990. Cruise and Kidman adopted 2 children, Isabella Jane and Connor Anthony. In February 2001, Cruise filed for divorce from Kidman while she was unknowingly pregnant. The pregnancy ended in a miscarriage. In 2007, Kidman clarified rumors of a miscarriage early in her marriage to Cruise, saying in an interview, "It was wrongly reported," and explaining that she had actually had an ectopic pregnancy. Before Kidman's next marriage to Keith Urban, she spoke of how much she still loved Cruise, saying in 2006, "He was huge. Still is. To me, he was just Tom, but to everybody else, he is huge. But he was lovely to me. And I loved him. I still love him." Dating Penelope Cruz and Nazanin Boniadi. Cruz was next romantically linked with Penelope Cruz, his co-star in Vanilla Sky. Their relationship ended in 2004. An article in the October 2012 issue of Vanity Fair states that several sources have said that after the breakup with Cruz, the Church of Scientology launched a secret project to find Cruz a new girlfriend. According to those sources, a series of auditions of Scientologist actresses resulted in a short-lived relationship with British-Iranian actress Nazanin Boniadi, who subsequently left Scientology. The Church of Scientology and Cruz's lawyers issued strongly worded denials and threatened to sue, accusing Vanity Fair of shoddy journalism and religious bigotry. Journalist Roger Friedman later reported that he received an email from director and ex-Scientologist Paul Haggis confirming the story. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?